Celebrities tend to have this larger-than-life status in our culture. We look up to them and put them on display like they're some kind of gold standard to live by. To a certain extent, we make decisions based on their choices, whether that be in the realm of fashion or consumer products. There's nothing inherently wrong about doing that, but sometimes it's good to remind yourself they aren't the infallible deities we sometimes confuse them to be. They're human just like you and me. It's actually pretty relieving to see them at their most vulnerable from time to time by means of some sort of embarrassingly candid photo leak. At least then, we're both reminded of how they shouldn't be put on such a pedestal and how our own blunders are perfectly fine. Here are a few photos that celebrities wish never existed. Fortunately for us, however, the internet never forgets. Remember the time Angelina Jolie made out with her brother? If you haven't seen that one, you're gonna want to stick around. It's something of a classic. Beyonce. From the context, it's pretty obvious Beyonce is performing at some kind of show. A little more research reveals this unflattering shot came from her Super Bowl halftime performance a few years ago. No matter how hard her PR team tried to scrub this one from the web, it keeps popping up on lists and videos just like this one. Sorry, Beyonce. Not sorry. Kim Kardashian. This one really isn't that bad, but we're guessing that Kim really resents the fact that this photo is still floating around social media. She honestly looks fine. But when you look at this compared to how the Armenian reality star looks today, post-plastic surgery, and 14 years later, you can clearly see why she is peeved about its existence. Hugh Jackman. You've probably seen a dog make a similar face when shaking off after coming in from the rain. This was from quite a few years ago, before Hugh really made it as an A-lister. Seeing pics like this really makes you grateful the paparazzi aren't following you around, waiting for you to make some kind of awful facial expression. There's a silver lining here, though. His face may look pretty whack, but his body is still looking as cut as ever. Rihanna. This one's just kind of unfortunate. First of all, Riri, you had to know you were having your photo taken. The paparazzi clearly had you surrounded. We're not going to give any bad marks for the super casual fashion choice, because we do that too sometimes. But what were you looking at that made you bust out that facial expression? The guy in the back can't even see you, but from the looks of it, he knew something was up. He looks as shocked as we do. Angelina Jolie. This oddity comes from the 2000 Golden Globe Awards. She was younger then and far from the classy, sophisticated Angelina that we all know and love today. But we've identified two rules she's violating in this otherwise innocuous snapshot. Rule number 1, no PDA. Isn't that a given? Rule number 2, holy cow, isn't that your brother? If you think that's insane, you should wait and see what Salma Hayek walked into the ER wearing in 2016. We've got plenty more celebrity shenanigans for you, but take a brief moment to tap the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications by tapping the bell icon. Britney Spears. The former teen pop star had a rather rough transition into adulthood. Life in the public lens can be dreadfully destructive to the psyche of a young blossoming star. Fortunately, we can safely say Britney is killing it these days. We're going to let the Frappuccino in her hands do all the talking to explain this photo. This might not have been as rough as her head shaving episode, but it certainly isn't quite her brightest moment either. Julia Roberts. Here's a pic of Julia looking like she's mid-sneeze, or maybe about to bite a pesky journalist. We can't really be sure. Every celeb has a certain trait that defines who they are and how they're perceived. For Roberts, it's her larger-than-average mouth. That's no fault of hers. It just means she has a more dynamic smile. Well, that is, except when photos like this are taken. Kim Kardashian. Yes, again. We're just going to let this one sink in for a sec. To be fair, it's remarkably hard to look glamorous and on your A-game when you're eating anything. That's why a lot of celebrities try to eat in peace, out of the eye of the nosy camera crews. Christina Aguilera. Turns out Christina was exhausted and taking a quick little impromptu and accidental catnap when this photo was taken. To be fair, she looks pretty damn amazing for not being conscious. Her makeup is still on point, and there's an almost erotic quality to her look. We bet she wasn't too angry that this one leaked to the media. Selena Gomez and ZEDD. The world wasn't privy to much of the inner workings of Selena Gomez and her DJ boyfriend's relationship. Much of that chapter was rather mysterious. Their relationship was also remarkably short. A couple of years ago, ZEDD opened up about why the fling was doomed from the beginning. After only 3 months of being together, he became overwhelmed by the publicity. He recalls that reporters were calling his parents, his friends' cell phones were getting hacked. It was all just too much. As far as these photos go, we're just going to go out on a limb and assume that alcohol might have been involved. The Kardashian family. You can hardly recognize this filthy rich family when this picture was taken back in 2006. Yes, all that change can be most assuredly attributed to copious amounts of plastic surgery. Can you imagine what it's like to be as obscenely rich as they are? A life of fame has to be stressful sometimes, especially when the world holds you to such stringent and judgmental beauty standards. Spice Girls. Here's a little throwback for all you lovers of things vintage. This photo can only be described as Scary Spice. The world has been eagerly awaiting the possible reunion of the turn-of-the-century pop supergroup. We almost got to see that dream manifest into something tangible with the Spice Girls Project Gem, but never really panned out. Jerry Horner, aka Ginger Spice, revealed a couple of years ago she had really tried to get the group back together, but was never able to convince everyone that it was worth it, and one by one each Spice Girl dropped out of the project. Prince William and Kate Middleton. Like we mentioned in the intro, everyone's got a super sloppy drunk photo floating around somewhere, unless we manage to burn the only physical copies and they were taken before the modern digital age. In this unfortunate pic, the couple had just gotten back together after taking a break for a while, and it's pretty obvious they wanted to celebrate the occasion. We bet they didn't expect to see this one all over the tabloids the next morning. They probably didn't even remember it getting taken. This was also right around the time Prince William started to lose his hair. Amy Alexandra. For those watching stateside, you might not have any idea who she is. Alexandra was a house guest on Season 8 of the British version of Big Brother. She ended up coming in 10th place after staying in the house for a couple of weeks. She sure looks like she's having the time of her life. It looks like the hands on the right are trying to desperately assist Amy in the way of preventing any revealing wardrobe malfunctions. Salma Hayek. This bizarre photo draws some rather immediate questions. Hayek is an extraordinarily talented actor, producer, and director, and beyond that, she's known for her world-class fashion sense, just not this day. When she was working on her film Drunk Parents back in 2016, she suffered a minor head injury and took a trip to the ER while still in costume. The doctors look like they're having a grand time, and Salma looks like she's handling the awkward situation with a sense of humor. We're just glad she wasn't seriously injured. Kylie and Kendall Jenner. How this photo got past the Kardashians' tight control of their social media image is your guess as good as mine. We're guessing the driver wanted to make a quick buck by exploiting their moment of inebriated sloppiness. It looks like they sure had a rough night. Britney Spears. Here's another pic of Britney partying it up with her bestie Paris sometime in the early 2000s. This had to be sometime before she tied the knot with the worst rapper in history of rap music, Kevin Federline. We're guessing you forgot about that guy. Well, everyone else did too. Paris and Britney used to hit the clubs all the time with Lindsay Lohan, who reached the peak of her career around this time. It was estimated that Lohan was worth around $50 million at the time, but a quick search of her net worth today reveals she only has $800,000 left. Paris and Britney at least both managed their assets since their departure from the top. Emma Watson. We can't actually tell what went wrong in this photo. Was she about to cry, or was she just making a goofy face on purpose? Nearly every other photo of her, she's looking as gracefully beautiful as ever, but clearly something went wrong with this one. We could keep going all day. There's literally an endless stream of unflattering celebrity photos, but maybe we should play nice and give it a rest. Anyways, we'd love to hear from you. What do you think was the most shocking photo in this video? Was it Angelina Jolie making out with her brother, or was it a very drunk and sloppy Kardashian kid? Let us know what you think in the comments section. And before you go, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't have to miss out on any of our latest videos.